Hey, I'm Alex Radcliffe from Board Game Co, and this is News and Week in Review, where we're going to cover a variety of news pieces, our creator spotlight, the videos of this past week, the games we covered, all of that and more. Links and timestamps down below. We're going to start off, as we usually do, with the news segment, but before we do that, we do have a sponsor this week, specifically Loot Studios. You see, Malediction is on GameFound with 2 days left to go, which is not a lot of time left to go ahead and back this game, bringing the best part of miniatures games, card games, as well as 3D printing, all combined under one roof. It's going to combine the tactical thrill of a miniatures game using highly detailed 3D printable miniatures to represent your forces, although there are standees included in the box if you don't have access to a 3D printer in one way or another, while also bringing you the thrill and the strategic depth of a card game all mixed together under one umbrella of a new venture into a game experience unlike any other. Check out Malediction, the miniatures card game, over on GameFound. Again, you have 2 days left to go, and yeah, we'll see you there. Links and timestamps to everything down below. But with that, let's go ahead and start off with our news. Our news is going to have, well, we're starting off with Please Don't Burn My Village from Fireside Games. This is a new game where a dragon threatens to burn a village in the kingdom. Can you bribe him with treasures from the battlefield? Additionally, I believe they're doing, I don't actually see where I can find this over here. It's somewhere. But they're doing some sort of a kind of a press announcement situation at Ravenwood Castle, actually in Ohio, where they're going to have the game, the designers, a bunch of content creators, all doing a little bit of a promotional event that you can go and check out at Ravenwood Castle with Please Don't Burn My Village. You'll get early access to the game. You do have to book a room in the castle and pay $30 for a ticket, but it is a promotional event around this new game launch. We also have, I will not be there, by the way, at least as of right now, I will not be there, just in case, because I said a bunch of content creators there, just in case you think I'm there. I believe it's Daniel Standring, Grant Lyon, a bunch of other, Allison and Daniel from Play the Game HQ, a bunch of other content creators will be there. Anyways, moving on, we have Polygon announcing, well, not Polygon, but Ravensburger bringing you Horrified Dungeons and Dragons. This is the newest venture into the Horrified universe, well, combining D&D into this universe, and so you finally get to go ahead and attack that as a beholder. A beholder's a giant eye guy. I don't know D&D. I peripherally know D&D, but if you wanted to play Horrified and you like D&D, this is an opportunity to dive into this cooperative game in an entirely new setting. We also have Stonemaier Games putting out another blog post. I mean, this is not news. Jamie Stegmaier puts out a lot of various contributions to the hobby in a variety of ways, from his YouTube channel to his live streams to his blog posts, but I tend to share the ones that resonate the most with me, and this one resonated a lot with me. The biggest challenges to creating anything and how to overcome them. He talks a lot about the nature of creativity, the nature of consistency, the nature of starting something and then trying to continue forward with that thing. There's a lot to it, and he talks about his own challenges and how he attempts to overcome those. As somebody who has both been successful at putting out a lot of videos on a regular basis, but also struggled and failed when I try to do other things with the same level of consistency, this very much appealed both to the things that I've seen succeed and also where I've seen them go wrong and why. So I highly recommend checking this out if you are someone that in any way is trying to take on new habits. Honestly, this talks about creating anything, but any kind of new habit, this is a valuable resource to go ahead and read. Moving on from there, we have the Beast Universe. Studio Midhall announced the Beast Universe. Going to be 4 upcoming, not games necessarily, but things in the Beast Universe. There's going to be a RPG, there's going to be another game, but not the Beast game, but a game in the Beast Universe. There's going to be, I believe, a book and or a comic. There's 4 projects, they all announced them over here. They're going to be launching over on Kickstarter over the next 2 years. Links to most of the projects are already up, so this is an expansion of the Beast Universe if you are someone who is a fan of the Beast Universe. We have Fromaggio. Fromaggio coming to you from Road to Infamy Games, who brought you Fromage. Fromage, the rotating rondelle of cheese, now has an expansion coming to crowdfunding sometime in 2025. We also have River Market. River Market from KTBG, from Kid Tables Board Gaming. This is a continuation of the Creature Comforts system. They have Creature Comforts, they have Maple Valley, and now we have River Market, once again continuing the adorable brand of, well, forest creatures and accessible gameplay all together under one roof. We also have over here Legend Academy with an update. Whether you are happy with them or not, and I'm sure a lot of you are not, they do have a fulfillment update around the games going to be coming out. There's still some drama around this. I'm not heavily diving into the drama. I'm not trying to cover up this drama. Check with the comments. The problem is drama is a lot more nuanced to get into. There's things about the delay and how long these things have been sitting here. whatever your complaints are or not, this is just a public awareness thing that if you have been waiting on Legend Academy, a game that I thoroughly enjoyed and hope the final version both shows up and holds up, it has a fulfillment update. Although if you haven't paid for the shipping, you do have to do that in order for them to release your game. And then lastly, in the news category, we have Tranquility the Ascent. Tranquility the Ascent already exists. Tranquility the Descent over here. You see, Tranquility, a game I thoroughly enjoyed, also has Tranquility the Ascent, a good game, but I prefer the original Tranquility. But we have a new version coming, Tranquility the Descent, which I'm very hopeful about, just because I like Tranquility, so I'm always intrigued. This has really been a year full of re-implementations of already existing games. It happens every year, make no mistake, but maybe it's just the month I'm in. I feel like every other game I've played recently has been a re-implementation of an already existing game. Maybe I'll do a video on that at some point, I don't know. But that's not this video. This video is about Tranquility the Descent instead. And with that, that is going to be our news for the week, which brings us to our Creator Spotlight. And as I promised you last week, our Creator Spotlight this week is not a content creator. Rather, it's Matt Leacock, who is famous for the Pandemic system, as well as the legacy games within the Pandemic system, but he's done a lot of different things. Matt Leacock has been designing games since 1995, I believe is his first published design. 2008 is when he put out Pandemic, which is the game that took him to a degree of notoriety, but then from there, in 2014 is when he finally went full-time in the board game publishing space, because it still takes time to have a successful hit to actually being able to make this a full-time job, and he has very much been able to make this a full-time job. From the vast array of Pandemic game systems there have been, all incorporating elements of Pandemic in one sense or another, to the Pandemic legacy systems that he worked on with Rob Davio, he has built up a bunch of these, Pandemic systems, as well as legacy games, as well as the Forbidden series. Forbidden Island, Forbidden Desert, Forbidden Island, Forbidden Desert, Forbidden Sky, and Forbidden Jungle, I believe, are the 4 Forbidden games. He's done those as well. He's done Ticket to Ride Legacy. You might not be aware that he had a hand in Ticket to Ride Legacy, as well as Daybreak. Daybreak from CMYK, a game that I have really been enjoying, by the way, combined with other lesser-known games like Thunderbirds, and then more recent legacy games like Ziggurat. Again, he's been publishing games since 1995 was his first published design. Then there's I think there was one other, and then 2008 was when he hit Pandemic. And that's a game that as well, this is a game but a concept that is so foreign, or was so foreign to us when that game came out. Oh, look at us. Let's move our little researchers around the board and cure diseases. Isn't it so quaint? We're dealing with something like the Black Plague. That's never going to happen to us. Anyways, that's where things went south. And then Pandemic kind of happened to us, and we were like, hey, this is a real concept, and learning how to sequester and shut down a disease is a really useful tool set. Perhaps not directly related to the world we live in, but the concepts are definitely a lot more real than we thought they were. And let's hope that's the most violent board game that has real concepts. Anyways, Matt Leacock, a fantastic designer, and one who has been very passionate about the board game space, very specific about that. He has a quote over here: I design the games that I want to play and teach. I have a hard time imagining doing game design for a paycheck. You have to be very careful when you turn your passion into your job, because if you're not careful, you can very accidentally end up learning to resent your passion instead. So you have to be someone who is both passionate about it, but finds an opportunity to direct that passion in a way that is mutually consistent with actually bringing in a paycheck. If you find yourself having to trade off your passion for the paycheck, sometimes you'll just wish that you had stuck with your job and kept your passion. So kudos to him for being able to do that. That is Matt Leacock, our Creator Spotlight of the week. And with that, we're going to go ahead and move into the games we covered, or the videos we had this past week. The videos we had this past week, we're going to have a bunch over here. We had our New Year's resolution, my New Year's resolution on Sunday. I did a video covering my New Year's resolutions, things that I hope to be doing throughout the year. Making progress in some of them. I'll probably check in once a month-ish on how they're doing in different ways. Anything from talking a little bit slower to losing a few pounds to possibly reading more books. I've been doing that, by the way. Haven't finished any yet, but I started 3 different books, so I'm making progress on 3 different fronts, which may or may not be the best way to do it. But either way, I did a New Year's resolution video on Sunday, if you want to check that out. Later that day, I did a final Level Up Retreat call. If you're watching this video, you're either at Level Up Retreat or you're watching it in the future. Or it's probably, you can still come to Level Up Retreat, but it's today already, and yesterday, and tomorrow, so you're kind of running out of time. Anyways, that was Sunday's video. On Monday, we had 2 back or not to back, going over a bunch of crowdfunding campaigns. It was a definitely lighter week, but again, it takes time to bump up back to the regular routine of the year. And then on, that was Monday, then on Friday, we had upcoming crowdfunding campaigns for February, going into a variety of the crowdfunding campaigns you expect to see this month, of which there are a bunch that are exciting, but also it still feels like we are drifting in the lighter circles for right now. Probably usually in March and April is when things pick up a bit, assuming we see the regular year-to-year trends that we typically do. As far as the games we covered this past week on the channel, we had a bunch. Malediction, who was our sponsor for the week over here. Malediction is one that we had a preview last week and a gameplay this past Saturday. Malediction is a miniatures and card game experience, and it's one that, in general, I enjoyed the gameplay, but I will say it's just not a game for me because at the end of the day, you're moving people around the board with rulers. That puts it into the miniatures game category, which if you've watched my content for a long time, you know that I don't like games that have that. It's not that that mechanic is so rule breaking. Rather, it's that mechanic is often tied to a lot of other mechanics, and it puts it more into the miniatures game category, which is not my preferred preference. I like miniatures on the board, but I like it to feel more like a board game that has miniatures as opposed to a full-on miniatures game, with Malediction definitely is. So it's good, it's fun, I'm not the target audience for it. We have Dragon Eclipse. I did a Dragon Eclipse unboxing. I am very excited to actually play it. I've already, if you watched that video, I've already started playing through. It's actually gone over here because I'm going through it. I'm going through Tamashii right now, and you're like, that's not Dragon Eclipse. No, but I believe I can knock out Tamashii over the next, 3 to 4 weeks. I want to kind of get a little bit more campaign games off my plate. I want to actually sit there with concentration and dedication, sit there and say, I'm going to play this one, I'm going to knock it out over the next, 6 months to a year, whatever it is. I don't mind having a few in the pot at any given time, but I think right now I've been playing maybe 6 or so campaign and legacy games a year. And I think I want to get that number to like 10 a year, which shouldn't be too crazy. It just means I'll be able to actually go through a backlog with a little bit more confidence and then get to play games like Dragon Eclipse. That was Dragon Eclipse unboxing on Saturday. We had an Adventuria preview go up on Tuesday, as well as an Adventuria gameplay go up on Thursday. Adventuria is a cooperative card crafting hero system, sort of. I mean, there's a little bit of progression and building out your deck as you go through it, but ultimately it's a cooperative adventure where you control characters and then go through these adventures divided up into the adventure phase and then the combat phase. I overall enjoyed it. I had fun playing through it. I don't think I got pulled in by the art very much, and in general I think that I'd need to see a lot more to develop a better opinion, but I did enjoy it kind of had vibes of things like Primal, like Marvel Champions, where you're choosing which cards you're actually going to play with and which cards you're going to turn into your resources to be able to pay for other cards. And I love it when games force you into that decision, that challenge of, I kind of need everything in the game. So I had fun with it, but I also only played the first scenario so far, so I need more time with it. I would say tentative rating right now would probably be a 3.5. It could go up to a 4 depending on how continued gameplay went, but right now I started at a 3.5. Based on the first game, potential to go up if there's development to the characters. And again, first impressions review, not a full review. We also had Cthulhu Death May Die. I played through Cthulhu Death May Die Forbidden Reaches live on Tuesday, if you want to check that out. I like it. It's more Cthulhu Death May Die. I have no complaints. I didn't really get to see the new stuff because there's a new campaign mode, but that's a series arc of 3 campaigns, and they only have 2 episodes in the box, which makes a series arc of 3 campaigns pretty hard to actually do. But that said, I guess maybe I could use other content and mix and match from other Cthulhu stuff I have, possibly. Anyways, I did enjoy it. It's Cthulhu Death May Die. I love Cthulhu Death May Die. I really like the new characters. I like the new skills they have. I think strength, which is effectively shoving people, is possibly my new favorite skill from all these shared skill pools. But either way, check out that. Still love Cthulhu Death May Die. This didn't do anything to change that. Later on Tuesday, we had a review of Twinkle Twinkle. I did a review of Twinkle Twinkle from Allplay. Gave it a tentative 3.5 or 4, depending on whether there's modular content there, which is something they did with River Valley Glassworks. I remember I reviewed River Valley Glassworks, and I was like, it's good, but I need more variation. And they're like, there's more variation in the campaign. So I saw it coming this time around, so I made sure to like caveat. I was like, if there's more stuff that mixes it up, because I really like Twinkle Twinkle. It's a lot of fun. The only complaint I have is that it is very samey game to game, and so stuff that mixes up the experience, which is what they did with River Valley Glassworks, just makes it a better overall game for me. So I gave it a 3.5, tentative to 4, and I think it's a 4 based on the additional modular content. Obviously, I have to play it to lock that in, but that's where I am on that one. We had Everdell Silverfrost going up on Wednesday. I did both a review and a gameplay of it. Everdell Silverfrost is fantastic. I think it's great. It's more Everdell. The biggest challenge on it is, do you need more Everdell, or is it just more of the same? And to that end, it is going to be case by case. Similar to what I said with Farshore, I think if you are a fan of Everdell, but that's it, you probably are good with the base game you have. If you love Everdell, I do think you'll be very happy with Everdell Silverfrost, so you won't regret it. It's just, I don't think you necessarily need to get every single version when there's a lot of overlap to them. It's like Zombicide, if you're a fan of if you like Zombicide, have one Zombicide. If you love Zombicide, then you can have a few more. Kind of the same situation over here. I give it a 5 out of 5, but again, with the caveat of it's a 5 out of 5, but it's the same structure of the thing I already love. Is it better, worse, or different? And I went into more detail in that review. And then, of course, a gameplay later that day if you want to check that out. And then lastly, we had, lastly? Did I do lastly? Wait, why do I feel I'm missing something? We had Adventuria, we had Everdell. I feel like I'm missing one. But we had Star Realms Academy. Star Realms Academy went up on Thursday. What went up on Thursday? Thursday was Adventuria Preview. I feel like I'm missing one. Give me a second over here. I need to pull this up over here to figure out what I'm missing. We're going to go here. We're going to go to my Notion board. And Thursday was Adventuria Preview. And then it was Star Realms Academy, which I'm going to tell you about in a second. But then the last one is Twinkle Twinkle gameplay. That's why it was, because there's something I already talked about. Twinkle Twinkle gameplay. If you want to check out a gameplay of Twinkle Twinkle, that went up on Thursday. As far as Star Realms Academy, reviewed that with my son. I think it's great. It's not a game that I would choose to play over basic Star Realms, but it did do a great job of introducing my kids to Star Realms, so that my son now loves the Star Realms games, one of them, and the other one who's younger and can't read still loves Star Realms Academy because he doesn't need to read to be able to play that effectively. So it's a great job at putting out a Star Realms game. My 5-year-old and my 8-year-old play that together without me being in the room at all. It is tremendous. Highly recommend Star Realms Academy for the target audience of that age range. As far as games today, we're going to have a few things. First of all, videos today. Videos, we're going to have Brass How to Play going up on the channel later today. How to Play for Brass Birmingham specifically, as well as a review for Minos from Board and Dice, unless I push it off, as I pushed it off the last 2 times I talked about it. And speaking of which, next week we're going to have a few things go up. We're going to have 10 ways to make money as a content creator going up on Sunday. This is an older video. I filmed it a while ago, but it's going up soon, so you can check that out. I think it still holds up. I have to watch it again just to make sure, but I think everything still holds up in it. That kind of stuff doesn't significantly change. And then we also have the best 10 prototypes of 2024. That is going to be Monday's video. So instead of having a crowdfunding 2-back knock-to-back, we're going to have the best 10 prototypes of 2024 going up on Monday. As far as the games on the table, these are all games I hope to be playing this week. Hopefully I've already played some of these by the time you're watching this video, because Coimbra and Rurik are both coming with me to Level Up Retreat, where they have been requested as games to play. Everdell Silverfrost is also coming with me to Level Up Retreat, and there's a decent chance I play it again there. And then Tamashi is one that I have been going through. I've been enjoying it so far. I will have a full review at some point. I might do a 12x12 review. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. I have to we'll see what happens. But right now, I am enjoying going through it. It's going to be a campaign game I knock out. I hope to knock it out by the end. I think I gave myself for February and March. I think I wanted to knock it out by the end of March, with the caveat that as long as I'm making good progress, I don't mind buying myself an extension. Anyways, that is the week in review. Until next time, I'm Alex Ratcliffe from Board Game Co. I hope you appreciate this video, and as always, I hope you have a good one.